Hello YouTube, it's gopernoper, and today, well, if you can't already tell, I'm going to be showing you my entire collection of lenses as of the upload date. These ones here that I have all flipped over is because I have either a front lens cap or no front lens cap, and I can't rest them on the back because I don't have a body cap, because doing so would damage the lenses, and I would prefer not to do that. I have my holy grail piece right here seated on a lens cleaning cloth, just to make sure that no accidents occur. And let's get right to it. I'm going to be going upwards in focal lengths and talking about zoom lenses last. First is a Longar auto teleconverter 2x for Minolta cameras like the SRT-100 and XG1. This one I picked up at a Goodwill in conjunction with a 28mm lens I'll show you in just a moment for about $8. This is the lens I picked up with that teleconverter. It is a JCPenney multi-coated 28mm wide angle. Like I said before, this one was picked up with the 2x teleconverter for about $8 at a Goodwill. I don't remember the exact price, but it was sold to me as one unit like this, because they really didn't know what they had. Next, this one came on a camera, my Yashica TL Electro X. This is a Vivitar Auto 35mm wide-angle lens. So this is a bit wider than the other ones. I'm just trying to keep it within a general range, but this one came with a $22 camera, which is pretty nice. And last of the wide angles is a Braun Auto Wide 28mm, and this is an f2.8 lens. This one I picked up for $10 from a camera shop with a Canon FD mount. So yeah, that was actually a pretty good deal. They were asking close to $50 for the Canon, the Canon wide angles, and I didn't want to have to pay that much, so I got what I could afford. So next I'm going to move on to the lenses within the range of 50mm, and it doesn't go over or under 50mm by 10, so you won't see any 60 or 40mm in here. I'm just sort of gonna grab random stuff. So first one I grabbed right here is my kit lens for the Praktica MTL5, the Auto Chinon 50mm f1.7. This is actually a pretty nice lens. I really like how it feels. It's very nicely made. It also has a great range of f-stops. 1.7 is... usually I don't shoot that wide, but yeah. So this lens was actually $10 by itself. Next is my kit lens for the Pentax MX, a 50mm as a high SMC Pentax M f1.7. This is just the kit lens for the Pentax MX. And this one came on a $17 camera outfit with a whole bunch of other goodies and stuff. In conjunction with that lens is the other Pentax 50mm f2 for my K1000. This one I had to pay an extra $15 for because it didn't come with the K1000, but it is the kit lens for it. Next is one of my two Minolta kit lenses for the SRT series of cameras. I believe this is actually an SRT-101 lens. My other one is for an SRT-100, but this is the 50mm f2 Minolta Rockor. This one I paid about $8 for at a Goodwill, either 8 or 7, I don't exactly remember. This next one here is the same lens. It's a 50mm f2. This one, the rest of the paint on it is a bit crisper, but the actual optics are a bit dirtier than on this one. I've tried to clean it as best I could. There are just a couple little specks on the inside, but both of these lenses are extremely clean. Next up is the kit lens for my Canon AE1. I'm sorry, it's really late at night. I can't remember any of my camera names. I have so many. I'm just kidding. It's the normal 50mm FD. This is the 1.8. And it came with the 1984 Olympics lens cap, which is pretty cool. I really like this lens cap. So moving down here, we have the kit lens for the Sears 50mm, or excuse me, the kit lens for the Sears KS Super. This is the 50mm f2. I have a review of that camera, not an actual like review showing you what it is. It's actually my thoughts on the camera. I'll put a annotation in the video with a link to where you can go and see that. It also has some pictures taken with the camera, so make sure you stick around till the end. Moving onward, this is the kit lens for the Konica Auto Reflex T3. This is the legendary Konica Hexanon AR 57mm f1.4. This is an incredible lens. It doesn't matter how many times I say it, it's still true. Or it's incredible. I really love this lens. Sadly, I only have one camera body that can take it, but that camera body is also a fantastic camera body, so I'm all set there. I really, really love this lens. I can't stress that enough. If you find one of these, absolutely pick it up. Next is my kit lens for the Sears TLS Super. It's the 55mm f1.4 Auto Sears lens. These lenses were actually manufactured by Ryko, whatever you want to call it, for Sears. And I'm not sure if Ryko actually bought them from someone else. But these are basically just rebranded lenses. These are also really nice pieces of glass. Bit underrated, in my opinion. So if you see some of these, definitely pick them up. I have another one of these actual kit lenses for the camera that were included in the original set. But yeah, that's an M42 screw mount. And next up, kit lens for the Minolta XG1. This is the 49mm or 45mm, excuse me. That right there threw me off a bit. This is the 45mm f2 kit lens for the camera, which is also a really nice piece of glass. I mean, it's a Rockor. How could you not like that? This one came on the camera for $2 along with another lens, which you'll see later. So next is the 50mm kit lens, the Kodak Ektanar f2.8 for the Kodak Signet 80 35mm interchangeable lens rangefinder camera. This is the only lens for the Signet 80 that I have. I hope to get more in the future. I know they're really super hard to find, but I will keep my eyes peeled and hopefully I'll find one someday. It's a really nice lens. Next up is the holy grail of my entire lens collection. This is the collapsible Carl Zeiss Sonar f2 50mm kit lens for the Contax 2. My Contax 2, I have finished exposing the roll and I'm not going to touch it. I may fire the shutter once or twice a month just for routine maintenance, but until I can send it off to Henry Scher at Zeiss Camera, I'm not going to touch it. But yeah, this is the lens. The lens. Alright, so real quick to recap, we have a couple Minolta mount lenses, 28mm and a 2x teleconverter, an FD mount 28mm, a screw mount 35mm. Most of these are 50s, but we have a screw mount, two Pentax mounts, or K mounts, excuse me, M42 screw mount. We have a Konica bayonet, a K mount, a screw mount, an FD mount, two Minolta mounts, a contacts mount, and a unique scissors lock mount for the Kodak Signet 80. Moving on to the 135s category, these are all 135mm lenses. First up is probably the nicest one I have, alongside the other one, which I'll show you in just a moment. This is the Minolta Celtic or Celtic 135, which is also an incredible lens, and it also has a really nice built-in hood. And this lens is an f3.5. So obviously it doesn't have the highest f-stop range out of all of them, but this is a really nice piece of glass. So I got this part of a lot for $2 at a yard sale, which included my XG1 and the 45mm kit lens. Next up, this is a pretty cheap, actually, a Sears multi-coated 135 f2.8, which is, to be honest, it's not the greatest piece of glass. It really isn't that fantastic. I don't like the construction on this lens. It's a bit shoddy, and it kind of feels cheap. So this isn't my favorite K-mount lens, but I got it as part of a really, really good deal on 2 SLR cameras, so I'm not complaining. Next one is sort of the same thing, except not really. This is a JCPenney coated optics. Ooh, fancy. A f2.8 135mm lens, and this one the f-stops are not working. Yeah, that's right, the f-stop ring is just sort of drifting freely. No click stops or anything. So, yeah, this thing is sort of broken. Only operates on f16 and will always be stopped down on the viewfinder. You can still use it if you want, but I don't plan to. I'll probably just hold on to it because collection. And next up is my final and probably other most fancy 135. It's the Minolta NC Telerockor 135mm f2.8. This one I picked up for $10 at a Goodwill, including the case, and this one is actually in minty condition. This thing's really nice. Super nice, actually. I can't wait to go out and use this. I'll probably use it in conjunction with my SRT 100, but I plan to use it with my XG1 occasionally. Whew, almost had a heart attack there. I forgot this thing had a built-in hood. Oh, sorry about that. Alright, so now I'm going to move on to my zoom lenses, and basically all of these are telephotos, save for one, which is actually a very nice lens. And that's the first one I'm going to show you. This is a Tokina, and this is actually a 3.5 to approximately f4.5. This is a 35 to 105, so this covers a really nice range. It has wide angles and telephoto. This is a K-mount lens, and wow, let me just say, this is a really, really nice lens. I love this one too, especially with this close focus ring that has the locking button. There, you can twist it out and snap it back in. It's really nice, and of course, it covers a really great range of focal lengths, excuse me. But yeah, I really like this lens. I got this as part of my Pentax MX deal for $17, and this was really the deal breaker for me. Not just the Pentax MX, but this lens is really nice. Next up, this one, I believe it's a Nikon mount. I have yet to test that theory, but this thing is sort of giving it away, and it won't fit on my K-mount bayonets, so it has to be a Nikon. And I don't actually have any 35mm Nikon mount SLR, so I'm going to have to test this on my D3000. But anyways, yeah, this has to be a Nikon mount. But anyways, it's an Access, it's a 22 or 70 to 210 millimeter lens, and it goes f3.5. So 70 to 210 access. I got this one for free. One of my scout leaders gave it to me in my Boy Scout troop. Yes, I am still doing that, but anyways, that is also a pretty nice lens. I know it is a third-party lens, but I am really excited to test that out. I'll find out tonight. This one here, this is a Gemini 80 to 200 millimeter FD mount lens, and it's a third-party, obviously, and has a f-stop range of 4.5 to 22. My camera battery is running really low, so I'm going to have to speed this next part up. Next up, we have a Formula 5 85 to 210 f4.5 lens with the hood. I paid $10 for this one at Goodwill. Price is still on there. Okay, last two lenses. Whoop. This is my other Sears lens. This is the 300 millimeter auto Sears lens. This was like the behemoth of the series. It's an f5.5 lens, M42 screw mount. This is also a really nice lens. And finally, my largest lens is the Lentar 400 millimeter extreme telephoto. This is an f6.3 lens, and it fits the Minolta mount system. So that's going to be it for this video. Thank you guys for watching. Please rate, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. Just a short little update. I just sent in my film from the Zeiss Icon Contessa. That should be back any minute now, or not any minute, any day now, and I'll probably have a thoughts on video coming out then. So I'll see you guys later.